Hi, my name's Ed Frawley. In today's newsletter video, I'm going to try and dispel some of the myths and misconceptions about remote collars. Remote collars go by different names. Some people call them e-collars. Some people call them electric collars. Personally, I don't like the term electric collar. It's a misconception because when people say electric collar and they talk about shocking their dog, the average person that's not a dog trainer thinks shocking their dog, is that like sticking your finger in an electrical outlet? And nothing could be further from the truth. These remote collars, to me, are the greatest dog training tool that's ever been invented. And I pair that by saying they're also the most misused dog training tool that's ever been invented. Because the average person doesn't take the time to learn how to train with them correctly. We train with low-level stimulation. And when I say low-level stimulation, I mean levels that humans can often not even feel. Now, what I'm going to do, and I recommend that everybody that gets in a remote collar do exactly what I'm doing, I'm going to show you what level of stimulation I personally can feel off of this remote collar. This specific one is an Einstein collar, but it doesn't make any difference whether it's a Dogtra collar, whether it's a Tritronics collar. Every brand of collar has different levels of stimulation. This specific one goes from 0 to 100. Some of the Dogtra collars go from 0 to 127. The Tritronics collars have their levels of stimulation. Makes no difference. What I'm going to do is turn this collar on and practice on myself to determine what level from 0 to 100 I begin to feel anything from this collar. Now, we're going to start at, it's turned on, we're going to start at level 1, and I'm going to push the button, and I feel nothing, absolutely nothing. So, I'm going to turn it to level 3. And I can hit the nick button where it's just an instantaneous little burst of stimulation. Again, I feel nothing. Even if I hit continuous, I feel nothing. I'm going to take it to level 5, hit the nick, I don't feel anything. Hit continuous, I don't feel anything here. And I'm taking these probes and I'm pushing them into the palm of my hand. And because I'm so nervous talking to you, my hand is sweating. Just kidding. Now, turning it to level 7, nothing. Continuous on level 7, I don't feel anything. Level 9, nothing. Nothing. I'm going to take it to level 11. And I want to make a point here that different people and different dogs accept the stimulation or can feel the stimulation at different levels. So, where I may feel something, let's see if I feel it at a level 11. I feel nothing at level 11. Take it to 13, where some people may not feel stimulations until they get to, say, 11 or level 21 or 22. Others may feel it at level 18. It just depends. And the same thing goes with dogs. We can talk in a minute about how to set the level that a dog just begins to feel the stimulation so you can use that knowledge in your training. Okay, level 13. Nothing. Nothing. I'm going to take it to level 15. Ah! Just kidding. No, I didn't feel anything. Okay, I didn't feel anything at level 15. So we'll try, because I'm a chicken, we're going to try level 16. I'm just beginning to feel a little bit of tingle here. And when I say tingle, I mean I can just barely feel this. So what I recommend is that anybody that gets a remote collar, no matter what brand of remote collar, they do exactly what I'm doing here. You're not going to go from the point where you feel nothing to the point where you're jumping and squeaking and hollering. It doesn't happen like that. What you begin to feel is a slight tingle. And I'll tell you a story about one of my last dogs. Very big dog, 100-pound Malinois. The collar I was using at that time was a Dogtra collar. Goes from 1 to 127. Normally humans can't figure out anything or can't feel anything until it hits like 21, 22, 23. But I trained that dog with a remote collar at level 14 to level 18, a level that most humans can't even feel. And it wasn't so much of a correction to the dog as it was a little tap on the shoulder and saying, hey, pay attention here, kind of redirects them back on you. And they also know that once they learn and once you teach them how to work with a remote collar, and we have a DVD that I produced on remote collar training for the pet owner. Once they learn the concept of being trained with a remote collar, they're always going to know when the collar's on. They are going to know that you can reach out and touch them. So they mind. Like I said, it's the greatest tool that's ever been invented, and when you learn how to use it, you will always use it. Now, I want to show you Rocky. It's a friend of ours, has this little white poodle named Rocky, and we wanted to demonstrate levels of stimulation with Rocky. Rocky's never been trained with a remote collar. He's never had a remote collar on before. And we took him, in this video, we took him up to level 18. And it was at level 18 that Rocky first showed any sign that he felt anything. And you can see right here, as he twitches, that's the first time he even felt anything. But it wasn't a correction. He didn't jump, he didn't scream. With that said, you will have some dogs that, and we have a section in our video on determining what level of correction, not only does the dog begin to use it, but what level of correction you need to go to use the remote collar. So you can have, with some dogs, levels that they just feel it, and then there's other levels on how much higher than that you have to pair that with a leash correction to make it work. So a lot of information here, a lot of misconceptions on remote collars, and I have to laugh a little bit because some countries like England and Australia, the animal activists there have banned the use of remote collars, which in my opinion is coming from a position of ignorance because they don't understand dog training. They don't understand that a low-level stimulation from a remote collar is way, way less of a correction than putting a prong collar on a dog and giving them a correction with a prong collar. It's just crazy thinking. So take your time, learn how to use a remote collar once you have one. It's the greatest off-leash control tool that you can ever have. There's articles on our website on how not to use a remote collar, for example, with dog aggression. There's a huge question and answer section on our website for people that have questions on using remote collars. And as I said, we sell our DVD on remote collar training for the pet owner. It's also available on an instant download on our video on demand. Now, the way our video on demand works, you can go there, you can purchase it, and you have unlimited viewing for 5 years. You can watch it as many times as you want for 5 years. We're working on a system like iTunes where we can eventually allow people, once they buy our video on demand, to watch it for life. At this point, it's 5 years. So, thanks for watching.